Hello everybody, John from Movie Burners here, back with another movie review, and today I'm going to be discussing the 2018 release Isle of Dogs. I finally got round to watching this film last Monday, just a few days after popping along and watching the Avengers Infinity War, and I would think it would be fair to say that those are two drastically different cinematic experiences. One had a full theatre and the other had just 9 people, including me. Now, Wes Anderson is a very different and very quirky director, though. He's a Marmite director in truth, but you know, I love this man and I do love his films as well. He's a perfectionist with a very offbeat, dry sense of humour and a real appreciation for detail, which is just mind-blowing. He also knows how to make a damn good stop-motion film, and it's this animated art form that he's returned to once again for this particularly out-there release. There's a plethora of adjectives that I could use to describe Isle of Dogs, but in truth, none of them would do it justice. I mean, you know a film is going to be full to the brim with quirky goodness when within the opening 2 or 3 minutes, all barks have been rendered into English flashes across the screen. It takes place in the fictional Japanese city of Megasaki and its greater territories, in a rather depressing, bleak, dystopian landscape, where dogs aren't having a good time of it. A canine snout flu has broken out, and the corrupt mayor of the city, Kobayashi, played by Kenichi Nomura, has taken the regrettable decision of relocating the entire dog population to Trash Island, which is exactly how you'd imagine it to be. It's abandoned, isolated, full of trash, and also has a rumoured band of aboriginal cannibalistic dogs roaming about. Now, first up to try this new locale was Spots, played by Liv Schreiber, the beloved guard dog and pet of the mayor's young distant nephew Atari, played by Koyu Rankin. We see him popping down in his cage onto the island, looking around bemused at his surroundings, and then the film jumps ahead 6 months into the future to introduce the self-titled pack of scary, indestructible alpha dogs that will guide and befriend our young human protagonist for much of this film. There's Chief, played by Bryan Cranston, Rex, played by Edward Norton, King, played by Bob Balaban, Boss, played by Bill Murray, and completing the quintet is Duke, played by Jeff Goldblum. Each of these dogs have their own mini backstory, fall from grace, or in one instance rise to prominence, and distinctly unique personalities. 4 of them had happily coexisted with humans prior to the flu outbreak, but the quasi-leader of the group, Chief, is an ex-stray with a propensity for fighting and an unfathomable urge to bite. It's Chief's arc that sees the most development throughout his story, that's the most heartfelt and touching. He eyes romance with Nutmeg, played by Scarlett Johansson, an alluring ex-show dog, whilst also gradually developing a close bond with Atari. Now, one of the big positives I took away from Isle of Dogs was that it had a real intelligent, multi-perspective plot. It primarily follows the ragtag group of dogs as they journey across the desolate, otherworldly and yet beautiful looking Trash Island, with the strange young boy that's crash landed and entered into their midst. It also follows the corrupt mayor, however, who incidentally is a proxy for a secret dog-hating syndicate that plans to exterminate all dogs for good. Not to mention Tracy Walker, played by Greta Gerwig, a young foreign exchange student with an insatiable lust for conspiracy theories. There's also several well-worked flashbacks that add real depth and context to everything unfolding. Certainly, it adds context to Spot's 6-month stay on Trash Island, and all these threads just weave together in a beautiful and organic manner. The voice acting was simply stellar, and the casting was, in the main, perfect. The majority of the human characters spoke in Japanese, their words translated by Frances McDormand's interpreter character throughout, and she was decent enough, you know what you're getting with Frances. Greta Gerwig was brilliant too as a young Tracy Walker, but I have to say the decision to have her character essentially school the Japanese natives whilst heading up the pro-dog rebellion group and also unearthing the huge conspiracy theory felt like perhaps the only misstep that Wes Anderson took in this film. I can already hear the cries of cultural appropriation being shouted from the rafters, but even still, I appreciated the heavy use of the Japanese language throughout, and I thought that it did respect the culture. Now for the dogs themselves. I thought this was some of the best voice acted animals that I've seen put to screen in a very, very long time. Bryan Cranston was the real standout as Chief, and as I previously mentioned, this character had the most development, and the great man utilised that iconic, demulcent voice to absolute perfection. But listen, I also loved the others as well. They weren't as vital to the plot, They bickered amongst each other in the main, but they were brought to life beautifully by the myriad of stellar actors brought in. Jeff Goldblum's Duke in particular was a living, breathing rumour mill, gossiping throughout to absolute hilarious effect. And honourable mentions must be given also to Scarlett Johansson, Liv Schreiber and Harvey Keitel. The latter in particular's howling was very funny. The visuals in this film were absolutely gorgeous. I've been a long admirer of stop motion animations since I was a young boy, and this is a fantastic addition to the many that I've already seen. The juxtaposition of stop motion and traditional cartoon was very cool. It felt like the cartoon was perhaps a homage to the Japanese anime genre, something I'm not a huge fan of, and I can't say with 100% certainty that it was, but it felt like it could have been. The attention to detail was astonishing in this film, from the placement of trash on the island to that incredible sushi scene, the kidney transplant, which is perhaps a first in an animated film, and the dogs in general looked great, and even the cotton wool they used to mimic the dust plumes coming up during the various scraps and fights between the dogs, with the odd limb popping out at various different intervals, was very cool. The tiniest of details in this film were really highlighted, and they all felt important in one way or the other. Even the short little bursts of translations that flashed across the screen on the regular in this film were very cool, and it just felt like the entire thing was a complete piece of artistry. Much of this was down in part to cinematographer Tristan Oliver too, who I know has worked with Anderson previously. He's well acquainted with stop motion as well, and it really does show because he did a fantastic job in this film. Alexander Desplat is another chap who's worked with Wes Anderson previously, and he returns again to collab with him on this film. It's his fourth collaboration with the director, and the Frenchman obviously picked up his first Oscar win for his work on the Grand Budapest Hotel. And you know what, he struck gold again with this one. It's a homage to both Japanese culture and Akira Kurosawa, who I know Wes Anderson's a big admirer of. The use of taiko drumming was prominent throughout, and there was a distinctive humming used in the film's more foreboding, dangerous moments, whilst an uplifting, earworm-inducing whistle was worked well into the upbeat, happier moments. It was a fantastic score, as you'd expect from Desplat. Isle of Dogs caught my eye really after its showing at the Berlin Film Festival, and you know, I was always going to go and see this one because frankly I love the quirkiness of the trailers. I'm just a fan of stop motion in general, and I'm a dog person, what more can I say? It had a captivating story with an array of interesting characters, great humour, and it was visually stunning throughout. It did what all good animated films should do too, which is connect with a mixture of age demographics. It had a simplistic base story of searching for spots, and also a deeper exploration of empathy and political satire flung in for good measure. I absolutely recommend this to anybody who loves stop motion animation. It's a highly entertaining watch and is a relatively short affair at just 101 minutes long. I'll be giving this film a perfect 5 out of 5. Remember guys, if you're enjoying the content we're putting out, then do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment on and share the videos. You can also find us on iTunes and the Google Play Store at the Movie Burner Podcast, and give us a little follow on Facebook and Twitter at Movie Burners. If you fancy a spot of casual reading, then all our latest written reviews and the occasional article can be found at movieburnerintertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.